Oh, we're live. Oh my goodness. So that's good. So basically I tried to go live before, the same old thing happened. And at first, I thought it was because maybe I had too much stuff stored on the laptop. So I hooked up my external drive and sort of like took off a load of stuff. And so now it's actually on the external drive, but it's still running slow. So I don't know how on earth it is still running slow. But there we go. Anyway, so here we are. We're live. Mark's about to join us, but he's just finishing off a bit of work, and I've ordered drinks. So he's going to wait till the drinks come and then get everything ready and then join us. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you this. I don't know if I showed it to you the last time, but this is a advent calendar. It's a Leonidas advent calendar. Now I've already opened door number one, and of course today I'm just trying to get it without the glare. Um, Obviously today is December 3rd, and I haven't opened door two and door three. So I thought I would open door two and door three live. So here we go. But it's really weird because they've got door one over here and then door two somewhere down here. So I'm just going to have a little look. Um, oh, yeah. So there's door two right down here. And then I think that one's door three. So let's go with door two. Ooh. Do you know what though? I think that with advent calendars and stuff like that, they probably do on other ones, but I think there should be like a little um picture here or an explanation of what the chocolate might be or something like that. And then when you take the chocolate out, I think there should be, a picture of the chocolate. Do you know what I mean? So, like a picture of the chocolate right there would be quite good to say, oh, yeah, that's the picture of it, and this is what it's called. Because, what if you come across one that you really like? You wouldn't know the name of it or, remember what it's like. So, there you go. That is, I'm just trying to get it in focus. And there you go. That is what it looks like. That's what it looks like from the side. That's what it looks like from the front. Don't know if that got into focus really, but let's take a bite. Mm. So it's dark chocolate, and inside is a praline, almost like a truffle praline. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. I have to get my glasses on so I could read any comments. So we'll get the glare. Sorry about that. Hi Coco. Oh, you're with Grandma and Grandpa, are you? Hello, Grandma. Hello, Grandpa. Or to me, Aunt and Unc. Uh, so this is quite nice. I'm not really a lover of dark chocolate, mm, but I do love Leonidas. This is a Leonidas advent calendar that Mark bought me, and he had to order it online. Mm, I don't know how much it was, but I believe there was like a £5 delivery fee of some sort. But I think £5 delivery fee for most places is quite normal, unless you order above a certain amount. And it's to encourage you to order above a certain amount. So if you're ordering anything from like a clothes shop or anything like that, so Chloe says they said to say hello. Granddad told me to tell you about peanuts. What about peanuts? I don't know if that has any peanuts, but praline is, or praline is a peanut. It's normally almonds, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Praline could just be Oh yeah, I think praline. Oh, I don't know. My expertise on peanuts is not the best, but praline, I believe, is a peanut. So back to what I'm saying. So I think when you order stuff online, they want you to spend more. So they charge £5 for delivery of whatever it is. And then yeah, but if you order then say like £30, on some websites it's like £30. So if you order anything £30 and above, it's then free delivery, then becomes free delivery. So it's just a way to get you to spend more. On some websites it's £50. Imagine. They want you to spend £50 before they're sending you anything for free delivery. It irks me um to pay anything with regards to postage, because I think to myself, in this day and age, we are doing lots of shopping on the internet now. It's almost like a way of life. You know, you pay things on the internet, you buy things on the internet, and I just feel like it really irks me to have to pay delivery fee. Does anybody else feel like that? I just think it's so annoying. Hey Ray Ray, how are you? No, my granddad boiled peanuts. Oh, did he? Mark's coming. He's just waiting. He's just finishing off a little bit of work, and then he's going to join us when the drinks arrive. But like I was saying, with regards to what do you call it, postage, it really irks me that you have to pay a postage fee. I think they should be sending it to you for free, and you should be able to return it for free. And I think it should be easy returns rather than having to go all the way to. I mean, we're, in this day and age where most things are digital, there should be easier ways of having to return things, and things like that. Some places I've got to give it to some places though, because some places, if you order from some places on the website, they actually send a courier. So if you call the courier, they will actually come and pick it up from your door. So I've got to give props to those types of um companies that actually send people to come and pick up the stuff. Free return, by the way. Do you know what I mean? I feel in this day and age it should be free. So Ray Ray says she bought £5 tights and they wanted £9.95 delivery. I said, but the delivery is more than the tights. No, that's just. But this is it, you see. I feel like with certain companies, they want you to spend the most amount of money and to get the product. But I think to myself, well, why? I'm I'm actually shopping with you. And I feel like these companies, which are killing off the high street anyway, um I mean, I still love going to the high street. I like going out. I like going into the shops. I'm a little bit old school like that. But equally, I like to order online. Do you know, there are some things that you can get online that you just can't get in the shops? Or being a larger person myself, sometimes they don't even bother to carry your size, the cheek of it. Even though there are more people that are bigger, when you go into the shop, there's only the small sizes left, which says to me, if not enough small sized people are buying those things, then why are you stocking so much, for the smaller sizes? Surely you should stock more for the, for the bigger sizes. So then you go online, you go and buy your stuff, and then you have to pay postage. And then some places have the cheek to charge you to return the stuff. Like, but this does upset me, and those are the types of places that I tend to avoid. Um, uh, yeah, you had to spend £60 for free delivery. I mean, £60. I mean, I feel like that's a ridiculous amount to be spending to get free delivery. I think if you wanted to charge something for delivery, it shouldn't be like £10 or something like that. It should be according to whatever it is that you've ordered. So if you've ordered a pair of tights, I mean, how much does it cost us to post tights to someone? What, £2, three at the most? And I think it should go according. If you're going to charge, it should go according to what the item is. So if the item doesn't weigh very heavy, then that's the weight you should be paying for. However, uh as I understand it with the post office, it now goes according to weight and size. So even if it's above a certain size but weighs a certain weight, they still charge more. So I think that um it's a difficult one, isn't it? because again, not a lot of people, I mean, the post office has been able to survive now because of online shopping. But prior to that, not a lot of people were sending letters and things like that. So the things for the post office was becoming more quiet and quieter and quieter. But now that you can order online, things have picked up at the post office. But I still don't think that you should be charging um ridiculous amounts of money to send stuff and receive stuff. I just feel like the fact that you're actually buying stuff, and they don't they cost the same as in some places as they do in the shops, right? So I feel like um if they are independent now, uh places that only work online, so they don't have any shops anymore, something like Debenhams, let's say. Let's use Debenhams as an example. I'm not talking about Debenhams, but I'm just saying, as an example, they're one of the online entities now that don't have a shop. So now, if you don't have any shops, you don't have any business rates to pay. You not business rates, sorry. You don't have to pay for your unit anymore, right? You don't have to pay for the rent and things like that. So why are you still charging the same prices as if it was in a shop? Plus, you're going to charge for postage and things like that. I feel that sort of thing really annoys me. And some companies, what they do is, even if you do click and collect, they charge you to go and pick it up as well. This is not all places though. It is rare, but I've seen one or two places where I want to order something, and if you press click and collect because you're going to pass by there, so you're going to be there, you can pick it up. They're charging for that. I feel that it's one of those things. Postage really, really irks me. Really, I don't mind sending a letter and sticking a stamp on and stuff like that. Right. As Ray says, it's 76 pence for a first class stamp. I remember when they used to be like 30p or 35p, but anyway, I digress. Um, and so now 76 pence it's the best part of £1, right? To post something for a stamp now, it's the best part of £1. So if you're going to send a very light letter, I remember 76 pence, or was it 80 pence would be to send an A4 size letter. So if you wanted to send A4 size letter, even if it weighed the same size as a small letter, because of the size of it, you still have to pay the 80 odd pence it used to be. But now, if a small letter for if a first class stamp is 76 pence, it's only up to a certain size and weight. So if it's bigger, so if it's an A4 size, you have to actually pay more. So I think that, I don't know, postage is one of those things. For a letter and stuff like that, I don't mind so much. But when you're sending parcels and things like that, I do think that sometimes it can be very expensive. Um, Mark wanted to send something, and went to the post office, and to send it first class was I think it was like £10 or £11 to send, and it was a small box. And they said, oh, and I said, well, how much is it second class? And second class was like £5. I said, you know what, let's send it second class, because I feel like £5 to send a parcel is fair enough. But I think that £5 should be first class. I don't think that to send a parcel, a small parcel, should cost a ridiculous amount of money, but it does. And then sometimes it then gets passed on to us, the customer. And I just feel like all these big conglomerates are making all this money, or trying to find ways to make money. And yeah, sometimes it's a little bit annoying. But anyway, enough of the postage. That's one thing that irks me. So let's get on to the second chocolate. So I think number 3 is up here. So this is number 3 right here. So I'm just going to pop that open. This is my Leonidas advent calendar. So I'm just going to pop that open. Oh, it's a white one. Okay. Which is funny because I had a milk chocolate one. Well, actually, it was a milk chocolate with dark sort of drizzle on it. And then this one was dark chocolate. And now this one is white chocolate. But like I said, it's such a shame they don't tell you the name of the chocolate on the inside of a door and then have the picture of it. Because if you find that you like a chocolate, How are you going to remember what it looks like and then order it again? But anyway, let's try it. It's another praline or praline. Very nice. I'll just show you. Do you know what, Ray Ray? Ray Ray said she didn't get an advent calendar, but what it is, I don't normally get advent calendars. It's just that Mark does ask me every year, do you want an advent calendar? But I think it's not one of those things that I grew up with. I remember having an advent calendar once when I was growing up, and I always used to forget to open the doors. Um, yeah, so I never really sort of got one, to be honest. So when he said this year goes, let's get one, I was like, all right then. And so I went for the Leonidas one, and I love Leonidas chocolate. So there we go. So that's the white chocolate. I love the white chocolate. I love the praline. It's really, really tasty. I would get this one again. The other, the other two were praline chocolates as well, but this one was the best one. I really like that. So, what's everybody up to this weekend? So tomorrow I'm going to meet a friend for lunch. I double booked myself. I bought one for my granddad and one for my vegan daughter. Oh, really? Is it vegan chocolate then, or is it just like I don't know what other vegan like calendar it would be. A lot of places now they do sort of like Rituals do a calendar, but it's like ridiculously expensive. Yeah, there's Rituals calendar. There's a couple of really nice advent calendars, like L'Occitane does one. But I feel like with an advent calendar, don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to get the Rituals one or the L'Occitane one. But I do feel like they cost like so much money. And I don't know if I agree quite paying all that money for an advent calendar. Something that just started simple, as in just getting a chocolate, which has now turned into this. You know what? We could do an advent calendar. We could do an advent calendar, and then it's a ridiculous amount of money for the things that are in it. And I do understand that it is cheaper to buy it in the advent calendar, or it's like buy our advent calendar. It's £100, but it's worth 150 or 170 pounds. But I still think, oh, that is just too expensive. That's like, a few gifts. If you think about it, you could get out of £100, you can get quite a few gifts. So I'm not sure I would want to spend it on, or I would want Mark to spend £100 on an advent calendar. Don't get me wrong, I'd love it. I would absolutely love, but I don't know if I could say, oh yeah, do you know what? Let's get that advent calendar. Maybe when it goes in the sale, and then I'll use it for next year or, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But we had to look at the advent calendar a couple of years ago from Rituals because it was on sale. It got sold out. But now I think about it, I suppose when it does go in the sale, it'd be good to get it then and then use it for the following year. I think that probably could be quite good. Yes, vegan chocolate, right? I'm looking after my granddaughter tonight. As it's her mummy's birthday. Well, happy birthday to your granddaughter. Did you say granddaughter? To your daughter then, right? So happy birthday to your daughter. And I hope she's having a nice time. What's she doing? Is she doing anything special tonight? Was £4. I do like Yankee Candle advent calendar, but too expensive for me. Yeah, do you know what? I think I love the idea of alternative advent calendars. I really love that idea. But I just feel like they're so expensive. Even the Leonidas calendar was expensive. Obviously, it'd be more expensive than your average, Cadbury advent calendar. So I do feel like I feel like sometimes when it gets to those special occasions, like Valentine's Day or Christmas or whatever special occasion it is, they do love to bump up the prices of things. And I do think that sometimes it can just be just that little bit like, really? Seriously? I mean, I think if you get something like an advent calendar in the sale, say for instance the Yankee candle one, I don't know how much it is, but if you manage to get it in the sale in January, and then that's the sort of thing you can save till next year. Do you know what I mean? And then use it for next year. So I think if I see any calendars like that, like the Rituals one and stuff like that, if they are selling it in the sale at a reasonable price, that's the sort of thing you could save till next year. With chocolates, sometimes depending on the chocolates, it can be, hit or miss whether you can have it for the year. I think this runs out in actual January or something like that. Yeah, this lasts until the 20th of January. But of course, if you're going to have one every day, you're going to finish it in December. Um, yes, my daughter, her and her boyfriend are away for the night, food and partying. Well, I don't blame them. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to go out for your birthday and enjoy. I feel like sometimes as we get older, we forget about ourselves a little bit and we don't take advantage. Obviously, because it's not as it's not as grandiose as when we were younger, and you're gonna have your party with your jelly and ice cream party. So you're not made a fuss of. And so it's nice when you just think, "Do you know what, let's just go out, or let's just spend, an evening out. Let's stay a night somewhere and go and have food and party. Why not? Do you know what I mean? That's really nice, I feel. I'm a real foodie, so is Mark, but we like different things. We like Mark is more about quantity, although lately he's been a little bit more about quality, but he wants the both. He would like quality and quantity, and sometimes those two things don't go in the same sentence. Um, but I'm more about, because my appetite isn't as large as Mark's. I prefer quality. So if we go to a restaurant, I don't mind that it's normal portion size. But with Mark, he wants like a really large portion size. Um, Tomorrow, as I said, do you know what? I double booked myself by accident. I was just like, oh, now I'm old school. I write everything down in a diary. I don't know how many of you out there use your phones or write your stuff down in a diary or do both, but I have an old school diary. So I write everything down in my diary. I've got a friend's diary. And this year I couldn't decide between a Harry Potter and a friend's diary. So I bought both. And I thought, well, I'll use whichever one that I feel like using. And I ended up using my friend's diary. I've actually started transferring things from my old friend's diary to my new friend's diary. And I so my cousin said, "Oh yeah, we're meeting up. We're gonna go out. Like all my cousins are getting together and stuff." And I thought, yeah, 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 that'll be great. Blah blah blah. Anyway, stupidly, I didn't write it down in my diary. And last Saturday, I was supposed to go out with my friend, but because of the tube strikes, we didn't end up getting together. So she said, "Are you free next Saturday?" Meaning tomorrow. And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, cool, that's cool." And so she booked the table for earlier. So she booked the table for lunchtime. Before we actually had it in the evening, like around 5:30, but now she's booked it for 1:15. So I thought, yeah, that's cool, that's no problem. And uh so my cousin sent me a message during the week. She goes, "Oh yeah, we've actually changed our table time now. We've got it at 4:15." I thought, "Oh no!" I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've double booked." And in my mind, when my friend said, "Oh, I'll change it," in my mind, I thought, I think I'm doing something, but it's not in the diary, so I can't be doing anything." And that's what it turned out to be. So, uh, yeah. So I said to her, "I'm really sorry." I said yes to my friend. She's already booked it. But I wasn't going to go for dinner with my cousins anyway. I was going to walk around with them, and then let them go for dinner and then go and find somewhere for Mark that does large portion sizes, because the rest of my family are normal. They don't mind the normal portion sizes. So I just thought, well, I'd rather take Mark and we go to somewhere that does larger portion sizes. But now I'm not going, and I was just like, oh, it's annoying when you forget things. I know it's crazy, but these things happen. But it was so annoying because me and my cousins, we get together, once or twice a year. um like, we are quite a traditional family in the sense that we used to go to my grandma's every Sunday. That was a thing. So we'd get up early, we'd get all packed up, and we'd go to my grandma's and we'd stay there for the whole day. So we'd probably get there sort of like, I don't know, 10 or 11 o'clock, and then we'd be there for the whole day until the evening. And it was a chance for all the cousins to get together, and all our parents to get together and chat and all of this type of stuff. And and it was one of those things. I was talking to my mum and my aunt about it the other day, and I was saying, whether you were having an argument with your cousin or whether you didn't get on with your cousin or whatever, you had to talk at some point, because every Sunday you knew where you were going to be. You were going to be, there, and you'll be there for the whole day, just chatting with your cousins and stuff. And that's how we grew up every Sunday. And now we don't. My grandparents have passed, unfortunately. I miss them every day. um but we don't have that chance of all getting together like we used to. And and as we've gotten older, we've all, everyone's got their partners or having children and all of that type of stuff, so we don't get together as regularly as it was when we were younger. I mean, that was every Sunday, so it's impossible now for everybody to be free on one day. And whose house are you going to with all the kids and all the, partners and everything else? Oh, there's somebody at the door. So it's a shame that we don't uh get together. And this year, of course, last year and this year, of course, with the pandemic and everything, it's been really difficult, I think, on us and on a lot of families, So we unfortunately don't get together. And normally every year I'll do a family barbecue where we all get together. There's like about 40 people in the house. Well, they're ushered into the garden actually. So there's about 40 people. We all get together, and we all have fun and we all eat and we have a drink and all of that. And the kids run around in the garden and everything. So it's really quite nice. But of course, last year and this year, we weren't able to do that. So it's been really sad. Um, so Ray Ray says she's got a meet up next Sunday. But I'm at church meeting, our last one before Christmas, so I'll miss the family this year. Oh no. What is there a way to go to the church meeting and maybe get the family to meet later? Is that doable? Or do you do something like at my grandparents, it'll be an all day thing. So they used to meet, we used to get to my grandparents something like 10 o'clock or 11, and then we'd stay the whole day. So we wouldn't be leaving my grandparents till about 6 or 7 o'clock time. So is there, so that you could still go to the church meeting and then go and join your family later? Sometimes if I was busy, because I was the oldest out of all my cousins, so if I was doing something on the Sunday, later on I would come back and then I'd be there the whole day with my cousin. It makes me smile because I used to, so as I was, I'm smiling because I was the oldest cousin. The next cousin down is 5 years, 5 years after me. He was the second. And then his brother, and then my brother, and that's how it went down. So I was the oldest by 5 years out of the next one down. And being the oldest, I used to buy magazines. So I had this More magazine. I don't know if anybody remembers More magazine. But I used to have More magazine, and I used to leave it in the living room. My grandparents never read it. And it was so funny because the cousin that was 5 years younger, and then I think the next one down, there is 7 years. Yeah, so I've got 5 years and 7 years. And they used to read all my magazines. And of course, I was a teenage girl, I'd be like, you know, 16, 18, 20. And so I'd leave my More magazines because I used to go to my grandparents quite a lot. and they'd be really interested, and they'd read all my magazines and things like that, and it makes me laugh, because those are like, those typical memories that you have of your cousins looking at their older cousins' stuff. So I always used to find that, now when I think about all those little memories and things, they still make me smile to this day. They have arranged to go to my dad, so I'm going later. So hopefully they may still be there. Yeah. Do you know what? Maybe do this thing of get like loads of food and like soft drinks and things like that, or alcohol if people like the alcohol, and encourage them to stay. So that later on, when you get there, they'll all still be there, kind of thing. Just get like loads of canapes and things like that ready, bake a few cakes. Like these are things that you got prepared the night before. Thank you. And then, when you get there, they'll still be there, sort of like eating, munching, and things like that. If anything brings families together, it's food. I'm telling you. So, yeah.
Hey, hello. So I have been busy working away at work.
You
So
have.
I need some of this very, very urgently. How is everybody?
I'm taking my glasses off now.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. So I'm back to my translation duties, or reading duties, I should say. Ray, hello. How you been? I overheard some of the conversations. So you've been out, you're out, or somebody's out partying.
It's her daughter's birthday, so she's got the granddaughter with her. Ooh, it's definitely oat milk.
There's sugar in this.
Oh, is there? They wouldn't put sugar in. Right, okay, so this is your one. That's the chutney.
Oh yes, cheese.
That's the Stilton with the blue cheese. Mark likes his blue cheese. And I have got
a haircut, but I don't like it, Ray.
Oh.
And she doesn't like it either.
You know what it is? For me personally, I feel it's too short. But to be honest, I can't remember the last haircut that Mark got that I actually liked.
So that's my cheese toasty. Although this is a bit bready.
And also mine's a bit bready as well.
What have you got?
I have got, they have toasted it. Oh, it's the moisture, because they have toasted it. And I have got
thank you, Ray. Thank you.
Turkey one, turkey and cranberry. So I got a different one today. So I'm going to try this one.
This one's great. This one's really nice.
Yeah, it has been toasted. It's just the moisture.
They messed up my drink. I'm not happy with it.
I quite like this. But
we can't eat at the same time.
But I like the feel. Oh, do you want to eat first? Then shall I just put my sandwich down?
You eat.
Oh no, let me just put my sandwich down while the king here eats first.
Kelly does this. I'll take a bite and then she takes a bite. Then we're both chewing, so you can't hear. One of us has got to talk.
Oh no,
you eat yours.
No, please go ahead.
I will then. So what have you been up to, Ray? How have things been?
I feel like with the sandwich, the other one that I had, which was the panini one, which also had, I think it had turkey and bacon in it.
So this one's actually got blue cheese in it. So if you can see that they put cheese on the top, in the middle, and then they put cranberries on the top.
I can't imagine
she hates blue cheese.
How that would be nice, to be honest.
Really good.
Blue cheese. Oh no. But that sandwich is nice, but I've got to say the filling that came in the panini, which had stuffing and it had bacon and it had turkey, is better filling wise, but not bread wise. I think they should have swapped it round. So this is turkey and ham hock and leeks, and that it's nice, but after having tasted the other one is nicer. Just I felt that it should be different bread, so I think the filling should be swapped over. That's what I think, but that's just me personally. So for my weekend, that's what I'm doing. Double booked myself. So I won't get to see my cousins. If they're still out though.
Georgina, hello.
Hey Georgina, how are you?
Georgina says, so I'm going to talk while I'm eating. Hey, have you tried the Costa turkey trimming one yet? It's so good.
No. Do you know what? That might be the next one that I try. I might
Yeah.
try that one.
Done. I was really hungry.
Yeah, so I think that might be the next one that I try. Might be the I really like the turkey and bacon and stuffing. I'm all about that with cranberry
Oh,
sauce.
That's horrible.
Stop drinking it then.
I keep
Picking it up and drinking it.
That's not oat milk in there. I
Well-
don't. It's one of those things. I think, oh, a lovely coffee. Like, "Bleh."
And then he keeps drinking it, and then he'll say, "Can I take a sip of yours?" And then that will be annoying. But yeah, I'm going to definitely try the Costa one and see. But like I said, I'm all about turkey bacon, and not turkey bacon, turkey and bacon, not turkey bacon, turkey and bacon with stuffing and cranberry. Yeah, I'm all about that. So if I can get, and I'm all about it being in a toasted sandwich rather than a normal sandwich. So if Costa are doing one, I'm definitely down for trying that. I've ordered a shop for later, so I'm waiting for the shopping to come, and then I will have I've ordered some focaccia bread, and I ordered, I think it was turkey and stuffing, and I've got bacon and I've got cranberry. So I might try that on a focaccia bread, I think, and then toast it and see how that is. I think that's going to be quite nice. I think that's going to be quite nice. So what are you going to do this weekend then?
I don't know.
Going to
I
work?
don't know. No, probably.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm annoyed now with that coffee. That's really annoyed me. I was really looking forward. I've had a really hard
Oh.
day, and I'm just looking forward to a coffee.
What's in it? Is it just sugar?
Try it.
I don't drink coffee. I don't like it. I
Now have a
won't
little
drink
sip, and you'll see. I'm suspicious as well.
It's got cinnamon in it.
That's not what I ordered. Well, it says on here.
It tastes of cinnamon.
Yeah, it's got something in it. It's got a syrup in it.
Yeah, it tastes of cinnamon. It doesn't taste of, but it is an oat latte, right?
Well, that's what it says.
Yeah, decaf
I think
oat.
she's put the wrong label on the wrong drink.
That is very possible because lately, that these people have been messing up. So the last time, listen to this. So during the week, I ordered we ordered a coffee for Mark, and a couple of other things, and of course my customary my customary drink. My drink and my croissant didn't turn. I ordered a pain au chocolat, right? So my drink and my pain au chocolat didn't turn up. I call Starbucks and I say, my drink and my pain au chocolat didn't turn up, blah blah blah. And she said, "Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Order it again, and then I'll put in a few things. I'll put in a couple of things in for you." And I said, "Oh, that's very nice." I said, "Okay, no problem." I order it again. The driver picks it up at 5:22 and he says he delivered it at 5:26. But I don't live next door to Starbucks. It didn't turn up again. I was so mad. So I emailed the Just Eat, and I said, "Oh, by the way, it didn't even turn up. That's twice. It's not turned up." So I said, "I'm not paying for the service charge or the delivery charge when I didn't receive the drink at all. Didn't even receive a delivery or a service charge." But they were quite good, and they returned the first lot of undelivered drinks and croissant, and then they've returned the drink that I didn't receive with the service charge and the delivery fee and blah blah blah. But what's annoying is when you really fancy something or you feel like something and it doesn't arrive. But it doesn't affect me in the same way that it affects you.
Do you know what? I tell you why, because they always, if I had a bleep machine, I'd do a bleep up my order. Always. And that's the first time they've done with yours. They always screw mine up. Always. Yeah. So you'll sit in there as well. And plus, I'm always paying for it as well. So you'll sit there with something you just didn't get. As Georgina says, "Oh no, nothing worse than being disappointed after really looking forward to something." Yeah, tell me about it.
That's not true. You always pay for it. That's not quite true.
No, but they always screw up my order. They always, if it 9 times out of 10, if there's a screw up with the order, it's my order that goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's always
I
my
suppose
order.
it is
So I'm
actually.
sitting there going, "Not again." How hard it?
Yeah.
But seriously though, how hard is it to make a latte?
Do you know what it
No,
is?
hang on. I'm not dissing the people that make it, the baristas that make it. I know they've got to make those and those and those and those
Yeah.
and those, but I don't get why in fairness, the last 2 orders were okay, but
Yeah.
before that, probably the last 3 or 4 were wrong. So it's either the wrong milk, it's the wrong thing, it's the wrong something wrong with it.
Yeah. Because the last time during the summertime, they kept sending you ice drinks.
Oh yeah, all the
So during the
time.
summer. So like there was a day which was one of the rare days during the summer that it was really hot and they had been inundated with ice drinks. So I ordered my frappuccino and then but there was one time they just kept getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Or like during the summertime they just kept getting it wrong. So either they were sending me a different drink or they were sending Mark a different drink. Or sometimes the drinks weren't in there at all.
Sahinas, how are you?
Hey, Shahinas.
I'm having a bit of a moan, I'm afraid. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm on a rant, and when I get on a rant, I just go for it as well. So I was really looking forward to having that and my coffee, and they messed up my coffee.
But you had a nice sandwich.
Yeah, well, that's like saying.
But
I don't do the look on the bright side bit. That's just not me. So
Yeah.
if they've messed up one thing, the whole thing's screwed up. I don't care.
yeah,
How are you
Yeah.
anyway? You good?
but yeah, it's I feel like it's difficult, especially when you're looking forward to something. I think it then it does become difficult, and I think it's just a shame, really. But yeah, it doesn't taste. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't taste bitter. I mean, it tastes bitter anyway because it's coffee, but it doesn't taste as bitter as it normally would to me.
It's too sweet. It's
And
got syrup in it.
it's not oat milk.
No. Apart from that, it was all right.
That's not oat milk.
It's
in
not the
there.
drink I ordered. It isn't what there, but apart from that, it's okay. So Hinaz, I saw your 2 videos. I did like your cheese sticks, and I did like your Indian cheesecake, and I forget what it was called. It begins with a P. So you have to forgive me. I do remember that. I thought it was quite good. So you can
Now that Mark's finished, I can now eat my cold sandwich.
you can give your little running commentary on it. And I see Madam has already shown you the Leonidas one. Do you know what? I have got to say, right, I have never, ever seen this before. So when I ordered this for Kelly, when I ordered it, don't think when I got to go to the payment section, they said, "Do you want to leave a tip?" I thought, tip for what? I just think there's no customer service to it at all. So you're basically paying for. Do you want to leave our staff a tip? I thought, I'm not leaving you a tip. Tip for what?
You already paid. Was it £5 delivery charge?
£5 delivery card. They cut the calendar itself. I won't say because it's your present, but not part of your Christmas present, but a little present for you. But yeah, I was a bit. Has anybody else had that? I don't think I've ever had that before, where you've been ordered something and asked to leave a tip. I've never heard of that before. It's not even if you do food. Like normally, tipping. The only service industry I can think where you tip is either food or drinks. I've never ever been in this situation where you order some goods such as that. I know. Is it food though? Not really. Not technically.
Not really. They're not preparing something, are they? If you're on Just Eat or Deliveroo, they do say, "Oh, do you want to leave a tip?"
Oh, do they? I don't know.
For the driver.
Oh, for the driver's fine because the driver's actually doing a service. He's
Yeah.
actually delivering it here. But Leonidas, all they're doing is boxing it up and giving it to the post office to do. So Royal Mail does. If anyone's going to get a tip, it would be the postman. I wouldn't give it to Leonidas. Never heard of that before. I don't know if anybody else has heard of that, but I thought that was really, really strange for somebody for a company to ask for a tip.
Yeah. I suppose maybe places are asking now, maybe because of the pandemic. Maybe. A lot of shops were closed before they could
but you
just
say that. I've never heard of that. That's the first time I've ordered something online, and that's it. Pre or post pandemic.
Yeah, but maybe that's what they're doing now to recoup money. Maybe. I was watching something kitchen. I never watch Hell's Kitchen. Or is it Kitchen Nightmares? Kitchen Nightmares. I never watch it. Mark watches all of that. For me, I feel like it's quite
I don't know why I like it, but I just do.
Well, it's not that. It's I feel like it's quite sad when you research the restaurant and they've closed.
Oh, 90% of them closed.
Yeah, so I don't really watch them because I don't like the fact that they've had to close for whatever reason. Anyway, so I was watching one earlier, and so basically, in the States, it is normal for the servers to earn tips. So I think they get a basic rate.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, Sam. So I think in the States they get a basic rate, and then they make everything in tips because they have like I think it's a 15 to 20% tip system.
Thanks, Sam. Oh, sorry. Sam just said congratulations.
Thank you.
We did reach 500 on Tuesday, but we've just been lazy, haven't set them down. And
I'm going to keep them up.
Yes, and they keep twirling as well.
Yeah.
So it sort of says, it looks like it's we've got zeros 15.
No, we got 500, so
500.
that's nice. But thank you.
Thank you. And we couldn't have done it without your support. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying kitchen nightmares.
Yeah, so kitchen nightmares. And so, but in the States, they work on tips. Anyway, so Gordon Ramsay goes in and he says, oh, you know, like the girl explains that she doesn't get to keep her tips, that the tips go to the manager, the person who's running the restaurant. And he's like, what? She goes, yeah, I get paid an hourly rate. And he goes, this is the only restaurant in the whole country that I've ever heard of where you don't get the tips. You're just working on an hourly rate.
United States, that's very, very common. So you would actually fact, servers aren't paid that much. So, well, I say paid that much in comparison. So they rely very heavily on tips.
On tips, yeah. So, so he went to the manager and he says, you know, your waitress just told me that you are taking all the tips. And he said, yeah, because I'm doing the majority of the work. And Gordon Ramsay was like, well, that's not right. You know, she's doing the work. She's taking the orders and stuff like that. He's going, yeah, but I'm doing most of the work. Look, I've just taken 4 orders. All right, if you've taken 4 orders and those 4 tables leave you a tip, that's fair enough. You take but the tables that she's bussing, you don't take her tips. So yeah, so he was taking all the waitresses' tips. I just thought that was crazy. So Gordon said to a group, he goes, did you know that your waitress is not getting that tip? Because I think they left like a $20 tip or something like that. And they said, oh, did you know your server's not going to get that he's going to take the money? And they turned around, they went, no. They were so shocked. But somebody told me the other day that so when you pay for the tip on who was it you that was with me, because they said, oh, could we give the tip in money?
Yeah, I was with you. Yeah, so basically we were going to pay. Now I have heard of this as well. If you, in some places, if you pay by card and you pay your tip by card, that tip actually goes to the company. So they said you should always check that. Not in every case, but in a lot of cases, especially if it's a chain, that tip will actually go back to the chain company. They then decide whether to divvy that out. So some do. So they said if you always make sure that you check. So I try to do that as well. So if I am paying and there is a tip, I will say as well, will you get the tip or is this going to go back to the company?
Yeah.
But if you pay in cash, it should always go to the server.
But the problem is nowadays, which is because I went to get my hair cut and the person who washed my hair, I wanted to leave a tip. But I didn't have any money on me because in this day and age now we're just tapping our card. So I said to the lady, the receptionist, I said, oh, could I leave a tip for the young man who washed my hair? And she says, oh, no. I said, I don't have any cash on me, but can I do it on my card? And she went, no, there's not a way to do it. So I think that there should be a separate thing that, you know, I mean, when I was working in hotels, what was good was I worked back office. So in the beginning part, I worked in the back office. And when you work back office, you don't get any tips. It's only the receptionist. It's only if you're front of, you know, in the front that you would actually get the tips. So I would miss out, me and my other colleagues who worked back office. So reservations, you know, we wouldn't get any tips. Anyway, they then did this thing where, you know what, let's get all the tips together and a few days before the end of the month, we'll divvy out the tips. And it really helped me because sometimes you were down to your last £10, being young at the time, you were down to your last £10 and you're thinking, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, this £30 would come from tips. And you'd think, oh wow, because they must have got quite a bit of money then, because I remember when I worked on reception, but then again, I worked night reception. I did work days.
I was going to say the reason being as well, because obviously with your tips, if you're paying by card, it goes to a central location. That central location gathers up all the money. Now, when it's a tip, it will go down as an overpayment. So essentially as well, there's no sort of category or code for tips. Of course, if it's cash you're giving, that's a physical thing. So if I don't know, say I've got £5 coins or £6 coins in my hand, I can give you 3, I can give myself 3. So you can physically hand it out and it doesn't go anywhere. Nobody knows. It's almost like avoiding tax. The trouble is that once you do pay it by cards, that can then be taxable because it's an income. But you don't know an overpayment, what that's for. Somebody could have accidentally overpaid. So you assume it's a tip, but you can't always guarantee. So a little something there without boring everybody. But that is the art of tipping. But that's what our waiter said to us.
I suppose in your mind, you have to think, are you going to carry cash or not? Because sometimes sometimes you see people on the street and you want to give them cash and you can't because you want to give them change, should I say. But you can't because you carry a card now.
Well, that's true. And also I find that a lot as well. When I first came to London, they used to do travel cards as paper tickets. And what used to happen is people would hang around tube stations or underground stations and they would ask you for your tickets. If you bought a 4-zone travel card, for example, back then in the 90s, it's about £2.50 for a 4-zone. You would then give someone would take it, but they would then resell it, which obviously you weren't supposed to do. But for them to make a bit of money, they would say, do you want to buy a travel card? I've got one here. So rather than £2.50, I'll go, I'll if you give it, I'll sell it to you for £1. So they would sell it to you for £1. And then you would use that ticket, but it wasn't actually registered to anyone. It was just a paper ticket. Now you can't do that. It's actually registered to your Oyster card. So there's no actual paper ticket anymore. I think you can still get it on certain destinations. So as a result of that, I've not seen someone buying and selling a paper ticket for years. That went out of late 90s, early noughties, I remember.
I never had anybody approach me saying, do I want to buy a ticket?
You must have
No,
done.
never.
I had it all the time. I came to London.
Never.
So I'm showing my age. I came to London in 1994. And that happened a lot. I would always get asked, do you want to buy a ticket? Do you want to buy a ticket? Because it's paper tickets.
Yeah.
But
you can still get paper tickets now.
Yeah. So but not for travel cards. So what I would do is I would buy a travel card, go around London. At the end of the day, people would go, I've got a travel card, you've got a travel card, you've got a travel card. So I would do it sometimes. I would hand over my old travel card. But then I know that person then would resell it for a cheaper value.
No, you can still buy a daily travel card as a paper ticket.
Can you? I've never seen it.
You can still buy paper tickets. But I've never, ever had someone offer me a ticket before. That's amazing. I've never had
Kelly
that.
and I live in the same city, right? It's like you live on 2 different worlds. That's something you must have done. I used to get it all the time.
Not one time has someone approached me. But then again, I wasn't in the centre of London. I never ever bought my ticket in the centre of London. I'd buy my ticket from home.
What do you mean from home?
So like the local station. So I would never, someone would never offer me at my local station.
Well, at the time I was living.
You were living practically in the centre.
Yeah, so I was living in Holloway Road at the time. So I would, every time I used to go to Holloway Station or Caledonian Road Station, they would always be someone outside because they weren't allowed to mill in the actual station. So they go, oh, have you got a spare ticket? You got a spare ticket? So I go, no, I haven't. Or they would say, do you want to buy a ticket as well? So if you were to buy it, so say it was £2.50, I can't remember the price, but roughly about that. They would say, oh, do you want to buy a ticket for £1 or £1.50?
Oh, no.
And then you would just buy it. Obviously, you get it for a cheaper rate. And because it's not linked to anything.
Yeah.
It's just literally a paper ticket. You just use it.
Yeah. I used to give away my tickets.
Yeah, same here. I would do the same.
I used to give away my tickets all the time.
But they stopped doing that now because they lose money.
I don't know because I've not bought a daily ticket for a long time, but I believe you can still get them. and you don't have to. I'll have to look into it. But as far as I'm aware, I don't know if anybody else out there knows the answer, because normally now I use my Oyster card, which is a rip-off, by the way,
Mm.
because it never changes into a travel. Supposedly, if you use it often enough in the day, it's supposed to change into a travel card, but mine never ever does. For yours?
I have said that for years and years and years. So the idea is with an Oyster card is you tap in and it's only supposed to keep charging you. As long as you travel off peak, it will then maximize up to the charge of a travel card. So whatever that is. I think it's really expensive now, isn't it? About 20 quid, so really expensive like that.
Oh, I have no
So
idea.
it'll keep maxing to that. And that's what's supposed to happen. That is rubbish. TFL, if you're watching, I don't believe you, because if I have spent way over that just going single distances, it just tops and tops and tops and tops and tops up. So if anybody else has that, or but I definitely have noticed that it does not cap at zone 4 or zone 3. Definitely does not do that.
Yeah, I've never. Mine's never changed over before to a travel card, but the other day, and this was annoying. So the problem with the Oyster card, if you tap in somewhere, you have to tap out somewhere. So you could forget or whatever, but when you have a travel card, you just zip it through, and then even if you don't have to zip it through at the other end, it's okay because it's not going to charge you. But with your Oyster card, because it's digital, it will charge you. Now, I had used it multiple times the day before. And then we were on our way we were going to London. We were staying in London for the weekend.
Yes, we were, yes.
And so what happened was, um, I I had only charged it up, I think £20 a couple of days before, because I'd gone out somewhere and I thought, oh, do you know what? Let me just top it up. So anyway, tapped through and I heard a beeping sound. Now, when I tapped in at my local station anyway, I heard a beeping sound, but I didn't think anything of it. Silly me, I should have checked. But anyway, I didn't. So when I got to the other side and I went to tap, it made a funny noise. And the guy said, so I went to the ticket guy and I said, oh, my card's not working. And he said, okay, let me check it. He goes, oh, you've only got £2 something on it, £2.80 or whatever. And I was like, what? Oh, but I just charged it up with £20 the other day. So I know I've got money on it. And so he read out all the stations that I'd been to. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, somewhere along the line, you've not tapped out somewhere. Now, he read out all the stations. So at what point did I not tap out? Anyway, they charged me, the card itself charged me £8 something. And I was just like, and he goes, look, ordinarily, I would charge you £20. What was it? What do they call it? £20.
Fine.
Yeah, £20 fine. He goes, but I'll just charge you what the journey is, which is £5.80.
That's
Now
nice
I was,
of him to do that.
yeah, I was relieved but I think because he could see that I had tapped in and tapped out everywhere the day before.
Yeah, you're not a fair dodger.
I'm not a fair dodger. So and he could see that I'd already topped it up £20. He goes, well, somewhere along the line, it's charged you £8 because you've not tapped out somewhere or whatever. So to be fair, I'd already been fined. If you think about it, that £8, whatever it is.
Do you know, this is the thing that irritates me as well. It's so easy to forget to tap out because they're not in obvious places. Now, some will have the barriers and the gates and you have to tap out, but other places won't. You've got to find this little thing to tap out. And it's very easy if your mind's on something else, just to walk out the station and go, and you've forgotten to tap out. Now, that will charge you the maximum amount. So TFL must make tons of money from people forgetting to tap out.
But I think as well, they lost out on a lot of money, didn't they, TFL? From the pandemic, because nobody was traveling, and I suppose now as well a lot of people are still working remotely, so they're not making as much money. So now that's why they extended the congestion zone, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so, to make up for the values.
You see these crazy people,
but also as well, London's one of the very few cities in the world, or major cities, where the public transport is not funded by the government. Is that, as far as I'm aware, it's fully funded by the people using it. So that I don't think, as far as I'm aware, there's any resource. So, for example, if you look at the Parisian underground system and the transport system, that's heavily subsidised. I don't believe the British one is. Sorry, the London one is.
But it is subsidised in London, right?
No, I just said it wasn't.
No, but what I'm saying is when you go up to somewhere like Liverpool, whatever, their fares are really expensive.
The bus service is
Yeah.
subsidised. I don't know about the I didn't think the train was, but I might be wrong. So, guys, if you know, please drop it in the comments.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I know bus services outside London, a lot of them are not subsidised, so you pay full whack.
It's so expensive. Many years ago now, because obviously traveling by bus and things like that, it used to be like £1, possibly £2. And I went up north to visit my cousin, and I think like the bus fare was like £3, £4, and I was so shocked. I was just saying, yeah, bus fare's expensive here. It's cheaper to go around by cab. I was so
Yeah,
shocked. I was so shocked. So now I can only imagine. I mean, what's it in the West Country?
it's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot. It's a lot. It's because again, it's not subsidised at all.
yeah,
And my parents actually said the only people that use a bus is older people
mm,
because they get it for free because it's so expensive to use it. The whole point of the bus is to save the planet, so people don't use cars. But if you make it so expensive, people are just going to drive.
yeah. Or take a cab. Which, do you know what I mean? If there's, we found that in when we were in Lanzarote, because I think it wasn't expensive to take the bus, but by the time two of us paid, it was only like an extra euro or something
Yeah.
like that to take a cab back to the hotel and stuff like that. So if you've got like loads of bags with you and you're trying to get on a bus, you're better off just getting in a cab, because two of you are going to pay and you just go back to the hotel. But I do think it's crazy that outside of London, the fares are so expensive that you then have to, do you know what I mean, take a cab or whatever, or it's cheaper to take a cab. That's crazy.
So, for all our outside London viewers, how is public transport there? Is it expensive? Do you have to pay a lot? What is the average price if you do use public transport of a ticket, or do you just avoid it like the plague because of the price? One thing I will say though, London's public transport is very, very good. It's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Purely because obviously the actual the regularities, if that's the right word. There's so many stops. The buses certainly come every couple of minutes. Tubes come every few minutes. Rail service is a bit, but other than that, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the rail service, but also in this country it rains quite a lot. It's windy. We don't have the best weather. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's mild at the moment, so we're very lucky in that. But whenever it rains or snows or whatever, it's like all of the transport is brought to its knees.
Yeah.
It's just it baffles me, really does, because when you go to Canada, in Toronto, they've got like the underground city, so you can get from point to point and all of this. But they've learned to cope with their heavy winters. We don't even have as heavy winters as they do, and it's always been a thing. We've always been affected by rain. We did have not like heavy winters like they did in like they do in other countries, but we did have heavy winters at one point, and nothing worked. Like you get a day of snow, that's it. Trains are cancelled. This can't get through. That can't get through. You know, they have to cancel trains because there's no drivers available. Shortage of staff and things like that. Um, there was when we went to Brighton, it was crazy because uh a line was severed at Burgess Hill. And none of the trains could get through. And I just thought, well, why can't they reroute the trains? Now I know with timings and stuff like that, but you could send a train through like maybe once or twice an hour, or so that at least some trains were getting through to Brighton. But we had to go like some crazy way to get into, we had to like do 4 or 5 changes and then wait. So we missed our whole first day when we were in to get to Brighton, which was a shame. But I just couldn't, I'm just glad we didn't have as much stuff. We luckily for us, we just had our suitcases, I think, with us, didn't we? So but on the way back we had a bit more because we bought stuff, obviously, as you do. We bought stuff in Brighton, and again we were thinking, oh yeah, that the line would be fixed, and then there were still diversions. And so um we had to take a train to somewhere else and then a train from somewhere else. But this time it was really easy to switch. Like before, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew this had been done, that had been done, and everyone was trying that day. Everyone, and we weren't even traveling at a peak hour.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, have you ever had a horrendous train journey or a public transport journey or any sort of form of journey where you've taken public transport? And what happened? So, it wasn't the worst journey we've ever
No.
had. I've had other train journeys which have been horrendous, but yeah, it's annoying when you pay so much money for that. But have you guys ever had something disastrous like that?
I mean, it never puts me off travel and stuff like that. I've always travelled by public transport, and like Mark says, you know, it is one of the best forms of modes of travel. I'm quite surprised when I go to other countries, and for some reason I'm expecting it to be like it is in Britain, where you just take one train from one end to the other. And but yeah, a lot of places it's terrible.
Oh, I don't know though. Europe's train journeys are way better than UK's.
Not in Spain.
I've not been to Spain, but France and Belgium I thought had much better transport systems, and also Amsterdam when we went.
I didn't think so, in the sense that I didn't. So you have Gare du Nord and Gare du Lest, and when I yeah, and when I went to, we had to go from Gare du Nord to Gare du Lest when I was with my mum. There wasn't anybody, and my mum speaks French. She's fluent in French and stuff like that, and my French is basic, and nobody could explain to us how to get from Gare du Nord to Gare du Lest, right? And so in the end, we ended up having to take a cab, but the cab driver was so mad. He was so mad because he's going, "Oh, it's just round there," and he had to take us in the cab. Because they were within walking distance, but nobody could guide us to where this other train station was. So I don't feel that they are, although the services may be better, I don't feel that they are user friendly. That's what I feel.
Well, but one place I was shocked about with public transport was the US.
Yeah.
How infrequent actually their bus services is. Now we've only been really sort of Florida, New York, and Vegas. So the transport system, buses, they're there, but nowhere near the regularity of London.
Yeah.
At all. And also as well, underground as well. Now we've not been to LA, but I've heard from people just saying the LA service isn't that great. You've really got to drive to go to LA.
In LA, they advise you not the public transport, but it isn't there. But as you know, I love Florida. I love going to Disney. I love going to Universal and all of that type of stuff. Now, what does surprise me about that is that there are not regular buses that serve both those parks. So, and I say both those parks, I mean Disney has 5 parks and Universal has 3. So I'm very shocked that there are not regular bus services that go to all the parks. So you have to you're at the mercy of relying on so doing a fly drive, let's say hiring a car, or you have to go to a hotel that serves both, or stay at a hotel that may serve one and then go and stay at another hotel that serves the other. Or yeah, so I think that it is a shame that there isn't a service that serves all of the parts, because you've also got SeaWorld as well. Now there is they on International Drive there is the iRide, and that actually does serve SeaWorld, and it also serves part of Universal, but you have to walk the rest of the way, and it's like a 20-minute walk from where the bus drops you off. I mean, if you've got legs like Mark, it's a 10-minute walk, if that. But if you've got legs like me, it's like a 20-minute walk, and in the heat, 10 minutes in the heat is crazy. Imagine 20 minutes. So yeah, so to walk, but there isn't a bus that actually drops you at each of the parks, and I do find that quite surprising. And I think somebody could really corner the market with that. I think there are things that they could really corner the market.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as that, is it? Because you've also got to get permissions, you've got to get rights, licenses, the lot. It's not as easy. But private coach hire, you probably could.
Yeah.
There you go. We've got
Mm.
our shopping coming. We've done a shopping
Mm.
order coming very, very soon. So we are going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid, at that stage. So I had to join late. A very, very busy day for me today. Thank you so much to everybody that joined us on
Yes,
this live.
thank
I
you.
know it was very short and sweet, but we will resume on Tuesday at 6 o'clock UK time, as we normally do. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and remember, you are never too old to have fun. Until the next time, take care. Bye for now.
Have a good weekend. Bye for now.